Hello all. Happy evening. So we are going to talk about wellness, health. Let's have some health, right? Okay? Can you all raise your hand? Right hand. Right is always right, right? So, okay. Can you raise your left hand? Now left is right. Thank you. Just to see the hand. So, thank you, Mr. Arul Bhatia and Asif, for having the confidence on me. Every year when they are fixing the date, the first thing what they do, they send a WhatsApp message to me. Rajan, this is the date, be there. And so thank you for that elite panel what I have. Do you like this panel? See the diversity. The kind of the diversity I brought into the table, you know. Only thing is my wife should not see this picture. Because yesterday when I was leaving from home, I was little more animated, little more excited. She was asking, something bad, you are going to Bangalore, normally you will not be this much enthusiastic. I said, no, I'm moderating a session. She did not ask me how many female there. But after knowing this, she may be literally worried. You know, my health and wellness is risk. Okay, so we are a little changing the format. Normally moderators are introducing the people. So I told the people that I don't want to kill your profile by mixing your names, mixing your companies. So I'm giving opportunity to my panel to introduce themselves quickly. Okay, start from Varsha.
Yeah, and why am I standing? Because I need to try and see if I can just really, cheer all of you up. Can we all have you stand up, please? The panel members are excused. Okay, and please join me in applauding for each one of you because you are going to bear us for the next 45 minutes to an hour. 50 minutes. A big round of applause to all of you. Thank you. Please be seated. Speaking of diversity, I work for an organization where there's 51% diversity and men are in minority.
But numbers does not mean a majority or minority. Men are always majority in numbers, but minority in the
households.
In the importance. Married men, especially married men are counted only half.
Been to the restroom, you will see the men are gentle.
That was a good one. My name is Varsha Dubey, and I take care of people, happiness, experience, and well-being at Optimix. And Optimix, just to quickly tell you about Optimix, we are an AI-powered digital transformation company, and we have our presence across US, some portions of Middle East, and the delivery center is in Bangalore. And speaking about diversity, on my personal front, I'm a perfect example of national integration. Because, my mom's is a South Indian, Tamilian based out of Bangalore. Dad is a North Indian who was raised in South. And I was born here, raised in Gujarat. And then we are talking about my husband who hails from Orissa. So that's a little about national integration that I want to talk about. But it'll be a pleasure interacting with all of you and open to questions.
Thank you, Varsha. What a wonderful introduction. I don't have, so many interesting facts about me as Varsha had. My name is Divya Srinivasan. I have a little over 15 years of experience in human resources. I was in IT for 15 years and I've recently made a move into supply chain and logistics. I've recently joined a company called DFL Global. We are into supply chain and logistics. And I take care of the entire employee life cycle in that company and I head the HR function there. So nice being a part of this panel today. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Thank you so much. So this is Dr. Saida Arifat Tasneem. I'm a mental health practitioner. I've been working since the past 14 years as a clinical psychologist. And I also do a lot of sessions at corporates. So right now, I'm the director of mental health at Recoup Health. So here what we do, I have been getting a lot of things in the parties, especially where people come up to me asking, "Do you have any juicy stories about your patients?" So that is something that's always confidential. But I'm always the person who's been looked at like, okay, she has some paranormal activity, stories to mention, and things like that. But yes, it's very different. Mental health sensitization is what I've been promoting at the corporates since all these years. And I've also been introducing the mental health setup itself. So today, since this is a very important, crucial topic here as well, it really makes me feel great that, not just awareness, but people are understanding these things in the right sense as well. Because today, if we see, even though there is so much awareness that's been built, even today, if a person has to visit a psychiatrist or a psychologist, they don't want others to know. They just get in. While they're entering the clinic also, they just see if someone is watching them. Sorry, I don't want to take too much time. I'll go ahead with the next speaker.
My name is Dr. Deepak Sharan. I'm from the same organization as Tasneem, Recoup Health. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, rehabilitation physician, ergonomist, occupational health, lifestyle and functional medicine physician. We have been providing ergonomics, occupational health and wellness services to corporates for more than 25 years. And I look forward to interacting with my co-panelists and all of you.
Thank you. See the boss, see the team member, the power of woman. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajan. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rohini Rajiv. I'm the founder of The Able Mind. I am a health tech entrepreneur. I'm also a clinician. I'm a psychotherapist. Incidentally, I have 10 years more experience. I've been working for the last 24 years, like my fellow mental health practitioner. The Able Mind, we are India's pioneering company that works in the preventative and proactive mental health space. I'm also a non-official member of the Karnataka State Mental Health Authority and a couple of other academic positions as well. Really happy to be here, interested to tell you about why we believe that prevention is the way forward. Mental health and well-being, there is no health without mental health, you know that. And let's talk about how HR managers, heads of companies can influence this decision across. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kamal. And first of all, Mr. Bhatia and team, congratulations for putting up such a great show. And wonderful to see some of the familiar faces and industry veterans being the esteemed audience. So I am coming from an organization called Delta Electronics, where I am heading certain functions of HR. Delta Electronics is a Taiwan-based multinational company which has presence in more than 120 countries. We are into business from last more than 50 years plus. In fact, a few days back, we were also in news, especially in Bangalore, when our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, was in Bangalore and inaugurated Yellow Line. So one of the metro station is on the name of Delta Electronics. So yeah, thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you. Namaskara, Bengaluru.
Namaskara.
Okay, because everyone has been telling good evening, good afternoon and all. I thought when I'm in Bengaluru, I should do Namaskara, Bengaluru, but yenu sound bandilla. No sound from you. So can I do once more? Namaskara, Bengaluru. Okay, I'm Annapurna, which is very much easy for you to remember because you eat 3 times or twice at least or once at least a day. So never forget my name. Before eating, just remember my name. And I work for a company where does anyone doesn't use UPI, Google Pay, Phone Pay, RuPay? All of you use it? All of you will have one, at least one or the other things. And if it fails, how frustrating it is, right? So we are into that fintech called FIM, where we test and certify all the transactions of financial transactions which happen through these gateways. Okay, we are a French multinational. We have an office in Bangalore, and I'm highly connected with this topic because I'm also a founder of a consulting firm called Emotionalytics, which is a fusion word between emotions and analytics, and both EI and AI is what I wanted to bring it together, and I'm working on this. Right now I'm pursuing my PhD also on this same topic, and during COVID, at least I've reached out to 10,000 plus people just spreading only things on emotional literacy. Because in our
Excellent.
country, in our globally, we don't talk about emotional literacy, which is so very important. SEL, social emotional learning, that is only in few countries. UNICEF has brought to India now, but it's still at a very nascent stage. Leave alone, we are talking about mental wellness and celebrating things like that. Just stress is only one element which we talk, but there's lots. And our panel, please be attentive because we are going to focus on all these nuances. And today, a lot of takeaways for you. So please be careful because there's a quiz at the end of our panel
And
by
you are-
our moderator.
Annapurni, you are also a part-time teacher in any school?
Maybe I should try one now.
Okay.
I'm thinking so.
I get a feeling.
Yeah, I do. I think that's my closest next profession after HR.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. And over to you.
And we got a special panel here who's, when you talk about Asia Pacific HRM Congress, there is somebody outside India from the Asia. So welcome our panel member from Sri Lanka.
Thank you. Ayubowan. May you have long life. So I'm Kumarini from Sri Lanka, from the sunny island of Sri Lanka. So it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much to Dr. Bhatia and Asif for inviting me over. And I work for a pharmaceutical company called Astron Limited, and we manufacture pharmaceuticals, consumer, veterinary, and also herbal. So I'm very much interested in improving the well-being of our employees through wellness initiatives, and that's why I'm here, because I'd like to add my thoughts. So we look forward to giving our valuable insights. So let's have an interesting conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for the great introduction. World Health Organization proclaimed one thing very, very confidently. They said that there is no health without mental health. It's a very strong statement from the World Health Organization. When I was preparing for this session, I was going through one of the interesting quotes from Glenn Close. He is saying that, very, very importantly, mental health needs more sunlight, more candor, and more unashamed conversations. So he is defining in a very, very unique way. Mental health needs more sunlight, more candor, and more unashamed conversations. You be what you are. You express yourself. You talk whatever comes to your mind or the heart. Then your mental health is being taken care. That's what Glenn Close was saying. And especially after COVID, I think COVID gave one important thing to the world is to talk about the wellness, especially at the workplace. This buzzword wellness has become more buzzing everywhere after the COVID. You all agree? Because we thought that earlier, too many things we were concentrating. Then only we realized that how a health concern can stop the world doing it. I had never known that I can cross from Bangalore airport to Hosur in 1 hour. It happened during COVID. It can happen only during COVID, okay? So like that, so I got set of questions to ask these panel members, and we had very good deliberation, I would say. So maybe we'll start with a kind of a context setting, So we thought Varsha can be the right person to set the context. The brave one to go first. So maybe my question to you, Varsha, how, from your point of view, how do you define workplace belonging in the today's context, And why this mental health is inseparable part of the organization or the growth of the organization?
Am I audible, everyone? Hello again, and thank you for asking the question. I would like to first talk about what you just mentioned a while ago, unashamed conversations. I think to have those unashamed conversations, it's the vulnerable trust that needs to be built between each and every member of the organization. And that's the kind of trust that we have been able to build here at Optimix. To begin with, I would like to ask the audience present here, I'll mention two statements, and the difference between the two statements will help all of us understand, in my view, as to what workplace belongingness is about, right? I work here at Optimix. That's statement number one. Statement number two is, this is where I belong. I think the difference between the statements, the belongingness is what the second statement completely explains, right? So I think with the advent of AI, and who better than somebody who is working for an IT company can understand, with the emerging trends, the changing technologies, AI taking precedence, diverse workforce, and most importantly, the remote or the hybrid work environment which my fellow panel members were talking about. With all this and chaotic circumstances, the usual probably inclusion programs and also that kind of team building activities, the typical cliched models will not suffice. So as HR leaders, to ensure that there is workplace belongingness, it's very, very critical that we create a very psychologically safe environment for all our people out here in our organizations. In fact, we don't even call our people as employees, we call ourselves as optimizers, right? So creating a psychologically safe environment would probably, if I had to quickly list down a couple of things that come to my mind. One, if your employee is experiencing cognitive diversity, then you have the workplace belongingness. Secondly, if your employee feels valued, and if that person is treated like a person and beyond the usual employee ID in the ocean, in the system, in the HRIS system or the database, I think you're there. Because it's their emotions which matter a lot to me. And I would like to welcome my colleague who's present here, Vasundhara. So I take pride in saying this, that we have instituted this team of experts which is led by Vasundhara and myself, wherein we are demonstrating compassion. A lot of us, we usually talk about empathy, right? But don't you think empathy is a word which has been abused by all the HR fraternity members? We need to talk about compassion, which is what we are demonstrating here at Optimix. So we have worked closely with Gallup and developed certain tools wherein Vasundhara and I reach out to each and every member of the organization to understand what is it that they are feeling about the organization, about the policies being made, about the decisions being made, about their managers, and everything that they are experiencing at Optimix. So in a nutshell, if I have to say, if performance and let's say performance or whatever is your measure, key measure of success in your organization, performance, long-term retention, you name it, all that is possible if you have belongingness. So belongingness, while it fuels a kind of all the success parameters, it's the mental health which nourishes and sustains all these success parameters. I feel that, I believe, I'm sure all of us would agree that mental health and workplace belongingness are two sides of the same coin. Can mental health exist without belongingness? It's the belongingness which encompasses mental health. And I would say, and I would welcome all our HR leaders and the experts, industry experts, to take a look at the each and every person in the organization and see if they are happy. And I think if they are happy, and innovation automatically takes place, and you are letting cognitive diversity happen, that's where I feel belongingness and mental health truly go hand in hand. And as an organization, you'll be successful in true sense. Well, that's what is my take in terms of workplace belongingness and mental health, if I have to go there.
Excellent. Please put your hands together. There was a excellent context setting, I would say, for this panel discussion out of your experience. And maybe this is a good lead for the next question. Thank you for that. So I am going to Dr. Tasneem, the Director of Mental Health, ACUP. In HR, we say, because I am from HR, so we say when somebody is giving the resignation letter, somebody is coming and giving the resignation letter, that is not the starting of the process. The process is already started. He is already outside your organization already. He is made up his mind at least 3 to 6 months back, not yesterday, right? Somebody started the process. So it is not a sign of somebody is exiting. This is a process of somebody is exiting. But it's very important for our organization to capture those signs, so those signals from the employees well in advance. So maybe my question to you, Tasneem, what are all those signs that we can understand that employee is not feeling that they are not part of they are not belong to the organization. They started thinking that they do not belong to that place. And how much it is affecting the whole well-being of the organization. So what is your take on that?
That's a great question, actually, because if we identify these signs, we can actually prevent a lot of other losses, both for the person as well as for the organization as well. So I would say there are 3 particular signs that we need to identify. One is, I would say, behavioral and social issues. Like, for example, if an employee suddenly withdraws from someone who has always been very interested in being included in a lot of things, someone who used to face FOMO, fear of missing out, is now very happy not attending the events and all of that. And someone with whom there's a lot of absenteeism and unexplained absenteeism, because if they're going for a holiday on a vacation, then it is different. But then an unexplained thing where there is no other reason for it and suddenly they keep withdrawing themselves. And certain things like substance abuse, where you see suddenly the employees are, someone who used to take substance for, say, the fun aspect of it, is suddenly taking now to withdraw themselves from reality, which means the reality is very scary already. So that is one aspect. The other aspect, I would say, is performance-wise. So if you see that the performance has reduced, like the productivity has reduced, and they feel very overwhelmed when, even with smaller tasks, and they see that there is apathy, there is lack of interest, lack of motivation to take up new projects, and all of that. That, I would say, performance-related aspects. And the third, I would say, is physical and emotional aspects. So why I have combined both emotional and physical aspects, you will understand as I proceed, is because like there are certain physical manifestations of their emotions, like stress, anxiety related things are not just manifested as someone being hyper or someone being stressed all the time, but they are also manifested in a lot of physiological conditions. So if you see certain medically unexplained symptoms, like for example, they have pain in certain areas of their body where there is no structural abnormality as such. So all the parameters show everything is fine. So that is a medically unexplained symptom that they are going through. There could be certain stomach-related issues, certain pain-related issues, stress headaches, migraines, and all of these things are the physiological manifestations of a long-term chronic condition, chronic stress, anxiety, and trauma that they have been going through. So if we identify any of these signs, I would say that would be the first step to, step in and try to provide your help without the stigma, without the labeling of, this person has gone through this, so this person has to be labeled as this particular thing. So the fear of judgment itself wouldn't allow the employee to open up. So if we identify these things, these 3 signs that I said, and provide some amount of empathy towards them, I feel the first step is already done, where the employee wouldn't have reached the level where the person wants to resign. Because as you mentioned, there could be a lot of things that they're going through before that, right? Before they come to that. So that is the last stage where it's been overwhelmed and they don't want to take it anymore. They show lack of motivation, apathy, and all of that. So that, I would say, needs to be addressed a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Tasneem,
Thank
for
you.
that insight. I think we say in our HR, whenever there is a person who is used to be, very attentive in those meetings, suddenly they will unmute and say something, and which is so hard. Then they will say, no, by mistake I unmuted myself. Otherwise, one of the person who was about to leave the organization, what he has done one day, the fine morning he came first, and he is from IT department. He has done some trick. The whole day, nobody could able to enter into our network. The whole day. Just imagine the productivity of one day for an organization. They could not able to enter into the network. Then everybody was fixing something, but one of my HR executive told us that I think there is something wrong with that IT guy. I think he is already thinking something is going on in his mind. We need to understand this. We had a conversation. Then we understood that in one of the meetings, he was humiliated by his international boss. And he started showing that in the work, actually. Sometimes if you don't catch those signs, that cost of that pain, that particular act of an employee who does not belong is huge, actually. Huge impact on us. So this, giving a clue to my next question to Divya, that how much it is important to provide a psychological safety for an employee at the workplace. How much it plays a role to give an importance of psychological safety at the workplace. Varsha, you want to add something?
Yeah, I had a point to make here when you were talking about, the IT person. I think silent quitting is something that we all should be very, very careful about. Because in the early stages, if you are able to catch the signs, right, if that connect is built where people feel belonged, I think we can avoid silent quitting. Because there are a lot of people who may not even show the signs. So that's something which we really need to think about, delve deeper, and see how can we arrest that. I just wanted to, share that.
Thank you. Thanks for the addition. Divya.
Thank you, Varsha. Thank you, RR, for that beautiful question. So before I touch upon psychological safety, I'd like to talk about belonging. So I'm sure Varsha has already spoken about it and she has spoken about it. I'd like to just, build upon that. Belongingness is your ability to, bring your true self to work. It shouldn't be like you come to the organization and you leave a personality of yours at the door of the organization. Your ability to bring your true self to the organization is what belongingness is. And how is that connected to psychological safety? Because you cannot belong to an organization where you do not feel safe. When I say psychological safety, what do we mean by psychological safety? Psychological safety, is the ability to trust each other, the leader trusting the team member and the team member trusting each other. So trust is a very important ingredient of psychological safety. And the number two is, ability to, I'll wrap it up in 3 to 4 minutes. The ability to kind of, not to me, is it? The tolerance for mistakes. It shouldn't be like one wrong PowerPoint presentation and you're doomed. That's not the kind of fear the employees should have in the organization. And how inclusive the organization is. How much truth is the leader speaking? Are they vulnerable? Are they showing their vulnerability? Are they really talking facts? Are they being real? All of this is what is psychological safety. I'm sure many of you would have read this book called Leaders Eat Last, in which the author talks about this concept called circle of safety. So inside the circle of safety, people feel safe with each other. You don't constantly fear who is stabbing at your back. You don't really spend so much time watching your back. The time that you spend watching your back is better spent on creativity. And when can you do that? Only when you feel safe. So, and also as humans, I think it is very important for us to feel safe. And it's one of the basic needs of human beings. You know, I might say, you know what, you pay me, I come, do my work and go. But unfortunately, that's not how our human brains operate. We need safety. We need people to care for us. Imagine you are unwell and nobody is, you know, checking in on you. You don't really feel safe in that kind of workplace. You want people around you to really take care of you. The leaders, you know, come forward and they really show concern and empathy for you. All of that is very important. In the absence of that psychological safety, our stress hormone, I'm sure, you know, we have experts here. I cannot really comment about hormones and all that, but I'm sure cortisol is going to be minimally produced in your body all the time when you work in such places. And I'm sure all of us know it's not good for our health. And as an individual, not working in a place that is psychologically unsafe is definitely not good. And let's come to the organization. Is it going to be helpful for the organization? Certainly not. The time that is spent just watching your back could be better spent in creativity, collaboration, and, you know, asking the right questions. And also coming back to this book, Leaders Eat Lost, he talks about a company called, what's the name of the company? You know, a company called, I forgot the name of the company, excuse me.
RR and Company.
Let's call it RR and Company for the time being. I'm sure, you know, at the end of this panel discussion, I'll come back and I'll tell you what's the company's name. So there is this tech company in the US where they have this philosophy where, you know, they call it lifetime employment, right? So, you know, the CEO says we don't fire children when they do not perform well. You know, when the family has a problem, we don't fire our children. So like that, we don't really fire our employees. And one may think that, you know, having this lifetime employment, people will become lazy and complacent and people will stop working. But the opposite happened. People started asking questions. You know, people started feeling very safe. And the productivity jumped from 25% to 60%. And the turnover rates, from 40% it came to 1%. So that is exactly what psychological safety could do to the organization. You know, it's not just for big organization. I'm not saying, you know, we all can embark on this journey of lifetime employment. That's not possible. You know, it will, one size does not fit all. There are different things that we could do as an organization to bring the psychological safety into the workplace. You know, whatever that suits us. The leaders should set the tone, and it's the responsibility of everybody in the organization, irrespective of fancy titles. It's everybody's responsibility to uphold psychological safety in the organization. I'm sure with that, we all can go back home happy and healthy. So that's my take on your question, RR.
Excellent, excellent, Divya. You can appreciate the speakers. They come with a lot of preparation. She was mentioning about, can somebody tell me what was the book she was referring? The Leaders Eats at Last. That's what you can see always. R.L. Bhatia is the last person to go to the buffet, you know. Asif will be the last person to go to the buffets. They are the real leaders, okay?
The company's name is Next Jump, and it's not a fiction,
It's not
a
RR
real
company,
company.
Okay.
It's not RR company, it's Next Jump, in case you'd want to, you know, go and Google it.
Okay, that was an excellent thing what you quote from a book, and also from the some of the statistics you were mentioning about increase in the productivity, increase in you know, the kind of the collaboration they do. Maybe it's time to get some practical examples, some few examples from the man who was whose company was in the news, associating with the Prime Minister very recently in Bangalore, Delta Engineering. So Kamal, from your own experience, can you give us some examples where how prioritizing the well-being, the wellness, has improved the employee engagement or the retention at the workplace? Specific examples looking from you.
Sure, and thanks for coming this side of the table. Okay.
I too like men actually, sometimes.
Okay. Great. So, thanks for asking this question. Actually, I don't know, it's a coincidence or it's a research of yours that you are asking me this question, because see, Delta Electronics is into business from last 50 years. In India, it's been almost 20 years. Our retention rate is in, like, I would say very healthy. I cannot exactly reveal the figures. However, our attrition is single digit from last 3 years. Also, the most important thing is that anyone who joins Delta Electronics India, the average span what he or she spends in the company is 7 years, whosoever joins. And the more important factor is that from last 20 years, we are growing at 25% CAGR. So what does this mean is that we are able to retain people and we are also able to make some profit, which means we are productive. We are able to make people productive, and I firmly believe what you said, that, and a fellow panelist said that wellness is one of the key factor. A person, if you ask an employee if he feels like that he wants to come to the organization next day, that means, for me, it's a good wellness state of mind. So, talking about the practical aspect, well, Delta has like two sides of the coins. One is the manufacturing and one is the R&D center. R&D center is more related to the creative research and, only hiring from the top tier colleges like IITs, the top NITs of the country. And other side is the manufacturing. We are talking about loads of people, say around, we are right now at 7,000 people and we are aiming to go at 20,000. So how do we balance, for both the aspect? Because there's always a tussle. This is right for me, this is not right for me. Talking about the COVID times, when everyone was vouching for work from home, we never gave work from home until, of course, it was a mandate from the government. And now we are feeling that that was a right decision, because a lot of IT companies, they are struggling to get their people back. It's like the blood is on the tongue, so they don't want to come to office ever now. And we are very much proud to say that we have not faced any situation like that. In fact, I think it starts right from the boardroom. When you look at your ESAT surveys, you see those big bubbles, which are really giving you some red signals, and you sit with your think tank team. I can give you an example. Our CTO, actually, he knows each and every engineer. He goes there on the floor. He talks to them just like, a friend or a mentor. And it's not like he takes something very different in a routine. That's something in his behavior. So it's a culture. One of the very, very important culture aspect is the innovation. We allow our engineers to go all out on innovation. Say 8% of our revenue is into research and development. That's fixed. So what does that mean? That our people gets this, and this has been communicated to them very transparently. So that's in their mind, that even if I fail, even if I get, I have a backing by the organization, I have backing by the top management. So if they keep on trying, they keep on getting the success, and that's a wonderful feeling. And apart from that, we have our own gym. We work in green buildings. Like you talked about sunlight. So there is a mandate that 70% of our buildings are where you have to get
Do you
the sunlight.
celebrate Men's Day?
We have that also. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And yoga teachers, Zumba, you name it, the facilities are there. And I think it's something which is very important, that every quarter we run a health quarter. We make sure that our people are fit enough. So we have doctors in-house. They take their BMIs. If somebody is interested, they can register themselves. And we see actually how much they are reducing, and we share success stories with everyone. So these are the small things and the big aspect from the leadership team, which cohesively works out really well for us.
Thank you. Excellent. Is there any job opportunities for a HR manager with a certain level of experience? So, is it updated in your portal?
I think, like I said, attrition rate is very low. So.
Oh my God. Then I need to find a good job for you. I need to find a job for you me to come there. For a very first time, see, I'm from Tamil Nadu and I'm the ardent fan of Rajinikanth, superstar Rajinikanth, the Talaivar. For a very first time, I'm liking a Kamal. Because you know the history, no? No Rajini fan will like Kamal. For the very first time, I am liking a Kamal. But it is not Kamal Hassan, it is Kamal Sahadev. Thank you. But don't forget about the job openings and other things, okay? Let us connect off the line. So
Can I just ask, just on his points, can I just comment a few things? So from his thing, the best take was that one of the pillars of lifestyle medicine that we practice as well is physical activity. So when you said we have our own gym, we have Zumba and all of that, I mean, that makes me also join your organization. So
Okay. I think I would say the audience is really learning one who are sitting here. The most important thing what I said was that we are in profits. That's also very important for an organization. That productivity, wellness is of course, one aspect, but you make sure it is in the right direction.
Yeah.
Then that's how you can get gym, everything get invested.
yes, absolutely. Because you said job attrition is low and productivity is high and all of that. So considering all of those things, it's a wonderful organization, I would say. Yeah.
There are more
Thank you.
applications from the audience also already for your organization. I'm coming to my friend from Sri Lanka, Kumarini, okay? And she's from Colombo, So she's a part of an organization which has got a lot of good practices which I searched from the internet. But I think you can share us more from your experience on how do we break the stigma, around mental health. There are a lot of stigma around mental health, especially around the conversation what we make with an employees. There are certain stigma is already that whenever we are talking about mental health, there are certain questions are there. The standard questions we ask with the employee. We feel that is the question we found ourselves, but everybody is asking the same question in every workplace, and it is almost becoming a kind of routine thing for the employee also. Like they will ask this question, then they will leave. But how you rethink that whole conversation around the mental health?
So that's an interesting question, and I am coming from a well-being company. We are a wellness company because we are manufacturing healthcare solutions. So answering your question, it starts from the top. So the leadership needs to really set the example and need to even talk about how they feel. When they feel overwhelmed, it's important that they share that kind of experience with employees so that employees down the line will know that it's okay sometimes to be not okay. So also leadership needs to embrace failures from employees. Most of the time why people don't really want to even innovate or come out with experiments because they are afraid to fail. So failure is something that has to be embraced if you want to encourage innovation, and also because if leaders are in the habit of humiliating employees when things go wrong, when things don't really work out, then people then shut down and don't really, they won't be themselves like my panelists were telling. And other things is we need to really focus on training and developing and teaching our line managers how to identify when our employees are feeling down, when they are experiencing anxiety. So in our company, we have a wellness team. So because we are manufacturing herbal products, we have a Ayurveda consultant. So with her assistance, we have been running stress management programs using Ayurveda techniques. So we teach senior management, management teams and many groups how to, using very practical sessions, breathing, meditation programs to help people relieve their stress levels. So stress management is the therapy that we can do, but we mustn't mix up mental health conversations with stress management, because stress management is only a small portion of the bigger picture. So those are the key things you can really do to break the stigma. You need to also, in our company, we've been celebrating International Mental Health Day, and that discussions about mental health should not be just a one day of the whole year. We need to be able to bring it out, talk about it openly. So those are my takes on how we can break the stigma. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Just one more thing I'd like to add is also, I'm sharing with our panel. I was reading the Gallup report on workplace, and interestingly, for South Asia, there are some very disturbing facts that out of other regions, South Asia has recorded the highest percentage of people experiencing anger, sadness. So more the reason why my organization, your organizations need to focus on bringing wellness into your practice, because there's a lot that our employees are going through. I think it's because of the socio-economic conditions, and talking about Sri Lanka, the political situation, the economic instability, those things have done a lot for our people. So although our people are very resilient, they are not very happy. So as organization, it's our role to help our employees to a certain extent, because if we help our employees, they will certainly look after the business. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it's a very interesting insight. If I may add a few things. We all are aware of, what kind of turmoil Sri Lanka has been through. But despite all that, you have been following the best practices, and some of which we find are very common between your organization and what we do here at Optimix. So we have created something called practices. So being a technology-driven organization, we have different practices, and each employee, every optimizer belongs to each one of these practices. So let's say if I join as a Java developer, I'll be reporting to a person in a particular project, then I also belong to the Java practice. And whether a person fails or succeeds, but every person in the organization is encouraged to participate in the practice initiatives. So I felt that this is something which is common between our organization, and it's worth sharing, because I think innovation is the key measure of belongingness, psychological safety, and cognitive diversity that we are talking about in this session out here.
Thank you. By this time, you might have figured out, because number of people are more, we got co-moderators also for this session, not only the moderator. Thank you, my co-moderator, Varsha, for that. It was a good one.
I cannot help it, because I come from an organization where 51% diversity is there, so you can imagine why I talk so much.
Thank you. So coming to my other man in the thing, I know, sir, you got a lot of huge experience in the mental health and the wellness, well-being, and you work very closely with the corporate. Though you are an orthopedic doctor yourself, but you work very closely with corporates, helping them to structure the programs, policies, and initiatives. So from your point of view, what policies, programs, or initiatives can organizations adapt to merge the mental health and the wellness as part of their work culture? Because it's very important, it's becoming part of the culture. So what are the things you suggest to the organization here? A lot of organizations are here to adapt to the work culture.
Thank you for the question. I'll give my perspective as a medical professional. What are the 4 best practices at the moment internationally in this field? The first principle, which has become very popular in the last couple of years, is something called Goldilocks paradigm. We know, we have spoken about physical activity as being beneficial. You may ask, most of our workers are doing physical activity. They're lifting things, they're working on assembly line and doing various things. So isn't that enough? The physical activity at the workplace is not healthy because it's not vigorous enough, low amplitude, and it does not help the cardiac health and improve the strength of muscles and things like that. So Goldilocks principle means that doing just the right amount of physical activity which improves the health of the worker. So we have ways in which we can assess the job of each worker and give specific recommendations regarding how to structure their work day so that their physical activities allow them to be productive, but at the same time also make them physically and mentally healthy. So the important thing is that the activity should be variable, it should be intense enough, and there should be enough time to rest and recuperate. The second important recommendation currently is that in every organization, the employees should do group exercises at least for 1 hour per week. And there are very specific type of activities that are shown by research studies that will help. One of which is, you may be aware, resistance or strengthening exercises. The second is Tai Chi and mindful movement and some aspects of yoga as well. And the third is called neurocognitive imagery, which is also called Franklin's method, which helps also not only in improving the physical functioning, but also the mental alertness, and helps even prevent cognitive decline. The third important principle is cognitive ergonomics. I'm sure all of you have heard of ergonomics. What do we associate ergonomics with? Chair, back pain, lifting heavy load. That's physical ergonomics. There are two other domains called cognitive and organizational. So cognitive ergonomics is the field by which we assess the mental capacity of a worker so that their jobs allow them to work in a healthy manner. They don't burn out. They're able to take quick decisions, and their higher mental functions work optimally. So there are ways of assessing the cognitive ergonomic aspects of each worker or tasks and giving recommendations how to optimize that. The fourth point is that we view mental health as an isolated thing, where we typically give some benefits to workers that, okay, you can have 5 consultations with a counselor, or you can go to a chat app and get your questions answered. Most of the time it will be a bot answering your questions. So, but that's about it. But we have to view it in a much more holistic manner. It's an interdisciplinary approach, and you cannot separate it from occupational health. So you cannot have mental health as something happening in isolation and occupational health being done by somebody else. So somebody mentioned earlier that people who have mental health issues very often have physical health problems where their physiology is not working very well. Many of them have inflammation in the gut, they have hormonal problems, they have immune problems, they have micronutrient deficiencies and so on. So it requires a holistic approach where a physician is also involved in assessing all these things and making a very customized program to treat all these issues in a holistic manner, which may include say supplements or medicines, changes in lifestyle, changes in their nutrition, physical activity and so on. And there is a program we have developed called limbic system rehabilitation. So limbic system is the emotional part of the brain, and many of these people have a highly alert limbic system when they are not able to relax at all. So they keep having a sympathetic activation where somebody mentioned cortisol gets secreted, which is harmful over a period of time. So there are methods by which we can get the limbic system to relax by using methods like heart rate variability, biofeedback training, vagus nerve stimulation, and various things which can be done at the workplace also, so that the limbic system goes in a state of relaxation and then the person can truly heal. So viewing mental health is not just a matter of talking to a counselor or maybe visiting an app or doing some breathing exercises. It's much more than that, and we have to view it in a much larger perspective and from a medical professional approach.
Thank you, doctor. You said it rightly. Mental health is not just filling an Excel sheet, right? Like filling the Excel sheet when the auditors are coming, creating everything, like everything was done. So it's not like that. We opened a gym in one of my organization where I worked. So there was an excellent participation was there for the gym for almost 1 month. Everybody was staying back, going to the gym, doing all those things, taking selfies, posting in Instagram, doing all the employer branding, everything. Suddenly our subscription gone down. Like it was a free only, but you need to every day go and punch the card. Then we realized that after 1 month, the plant director started coming to the gym every day evening. He was like doing exercise and asking, Ramesh, what happened to that sales report? Then he will ask, hey Akash, what happened to that production report? So slowly, people stopped going to the gym. You know, sometimes you need to make lead us away from some of those exercise. So I'm coming from a doctor to a teacher now. Sorry, HR professional now. Madam, leaders are playing very important role in organization. Sometimes they need to even stay away also, right? So because you got a huge experience in the HR. So from your experience, how can leaders role model vulnerability and empathy without compromising their authority? Because they don't want to compromise authority basically. But they also, how can they do that, role modeling the vulnerability and empathy at the workplace?
Fantastic question to a fantastic person. Okay. So when we
Who's
talk,
that fantastic person you said?
you will get more.
Oh, you will get.
So when we talk about leadership vulnerability, how many of us are open to that as leaders? Is it not coming? I thought I'm loud enough, that's why I just kept it aside. Okay, when we talk about leadership, and that there is often a misconception, okay, that showing vulnerability or empathy where we may dilute our authority, okay? But in reality, because this is what is happening in all our workplaces, believe it, because the moment we'll tell that, hey Akash, hey Prakash, what are you going to do? Then the subscription comes down. Absolutely correct. So how do we do this actually? How do we teach people, or how do we make aware leaders, how can they be vulnerable and empathy driven, and also see that how this affects other people in the workplaces? In reality, when these qualities are balanced with lot of clarity, transparency and accountability, they actually enhance the credibility of themselves in the organizations. Let me share with you some examples in and around all of us have seen. And each name when I take up, you will say, yeah, aha, this is the leader, exactly what he or she has shown, the kind of empathy, the kind of vulnerability at different situations. Ratan Tata. What does it come to your mind when I say Ratan Tata? After our Mumbai attacks, how did he handle everything over there? And why did he go to everyone's houses, talking about it and things like that? And what kind of empathy there it was displayed? How vulnerable he was in those situations? And again, you see the accountability of him and the kind of decisions when he has taken, when they have to do global mergers with Land Rover and Jaguar. See this continue, how it is, how difficult it is, and what kind of balances they are doing as leaders in the organizations, and what are they trying to do. Never a question on his leadership style. But the more and more we saw him very closer to his actions, we felt that if anything much we should do is, we admired him more and more for us. Even then, even now. Next door gentleman, Narayana Murthy. Narayana Murthy of Infosys openly, I'm not talking about any controversial statement here, okay? I'm only telling about how openly he admitted when governance challenges had happened in his company, right? Instead of hiding them, instead of, putting a carpet around that, he actually openly, transparently communicated to everybody in the organization. And he actually saw that he put some corrective actions also in place. So vulnerability made him more credible and more of accountability driven, and he preserved his authority also. Similarly, when we talk about Indra Nooyi, another great example from her PepsiCo journeys, she connected with employees of everyone when their new joiners, new grad trainees had come, everything and all. She wrote letters to their families thanking that you have really given a great leader to us. See this, what kind of leader she is. What she's demonstrating there. She has always made, tough decisions when time came. And she has also seen that business shifts under her vision with performance, with a purpose. And head with her heart together. Defined her authority when needed, Another example, when I talk about Anand Mahendra. Whenever he talks about, he's so approachable, authentic, and he admits when he is wrong. There was a great example when one of the recruiter did something with the outgoing employee or hiring things. He came out in public and he told, yes, I am responsible for this. It's a great leadership thing, and it's something that we are standing for our organization, our purpose, our people, and people transparency and things like that, giving so much. You know, he admits when he's wrong, shares his personal reflections, engages directly with the people, and from the weakening his leadership, far from weakening his leadership styles. And it has made him one of the most trusted business voices in India for us. I will tell you a personal example which has happened with me. I'll not take much time, don't worry. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, very closely I had worked with him. I mean, I am very proud at those times because I had worked with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Tejas aircraft was happening. He was with DRDO. And when everybody were there in that room and when things were happening, and people were telling, what to do, doctor, how is it? We will all learn together. I don't know, you don't know, we'll all learn together. That was his response. You know, these are great leaders, I think, how they showed humility, vulnerability. And so the lesson, what I'm trying to say over here is, vulnerability builds connections. And empathy builds trust. And authority is preserved through clarity, consistency, and accountability. The leaders who dare to be humane, there's a difference little, are often the ones who are remembered till the end for us. You know, we keep on. They go, they come. They go, they come. But we still remember them, and they are just like those nice stars in our books.
Thank you. Sorry.
Just the last line before I leave, because I told you there is an Oscar award for this. So I'll tell you. Take away for you people 3 R's. Triple R. I'm sure you have all seen the film called Triple R. So leadership is not about being perfect. No leader is perfect. It's only about being real, responsible, relatable. Real, responsible, relatable. 3 R's for you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
We are finished. We are finished.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
are finished with the last person panelist. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. So see, we brought Mr. Arul Bhatia to our conversation now. So the power of our panel discussion. So thank you so much. Being the last person, but not the least, Rohini, I know you patiently waiting for so long, and I know your sister is also in the audience to see how we are going to speak today. So I'm putting a very interesting question, the last question of this panel discussion. In the hybrid and remote setups, how we can ensure we can manage the well-being, the mental wellness and well-being, whatever you are talking about, how we can manage that, make it work?
Thank you, Dr. Rajan. I had a question for all of you. In the last 50 minutes, how many of you have checked your phone at least 5 to 6 times? At least once. All of us are remote even in real time, right? We've moved beyond water cooler conversations. We've moved beyond restroom conversations. One of the things very common in organizations where women connect, I don't know if you've followed Amit Tandon, he says, ladies restroom jate na, jhund mein jate, right? That's when they discuss, right? We've moved beyond all of those places since COVID. We do everything online. And right now, when we talk about how do we give a sense of belonging, we have to do it online. We have to bring in technology here. And how do you do that? What are the basic things of bringing in a sense of belongingness? They have to feel valued, they have to feel connected, they have to feel safe, right? We have to bring in technology to address all of these aspects. And that's something we are consciously doing at the Able Mind. We talk about preventative mental health simply because we help a lot of companies bridge this gap that hybrid work cultures bring in, remote work cultures bring in. We talk about something called a virtual water cooler. We have something called TAM Connections, where employees log in, connect with one another. See, for example, how many of you know who's sitting next to you, unless it's your colleague? Have you taken the time out to know one another? You're a little scared to talk about yourself, a little anxious to say that, hey, I'm the head of this company and I'm a big shot. But if it's a WhatsApp group, you're happy to give like a 10-line introduction, or if you're a panelist and everyone's listening to you. Right? Technology makes things safer, easier, more accessible, and it provides us with the kind of safety and advantage that in-person conversations, unfortunately, are sort of becoming a bit of a barrier here. So, Dr. Rajan, one of the things I want to say is bring in the space for people to reach out to one another, connect with one another, and feel safe enough to say that, hey, you know what, I'm not okay. but I know that there's someone who's listening to you. That's exactly what we are doing. I would love to connect with anybody who's interested in preventing problems within your organization. I will help you reach that place where hybrid safety, remote workplace doesn't feel alien anymore. Yeah, I don't want to extend it because this is an
Thank you,
important
Rohini.
aspect. You're welcome.
Thank you. Give a big round of applause. And I would like to conclude by saying only one important quote, which I read it from Benjamin Disraeli. He is mentioning that nurture your mind with great thoughts, because you cannot grow beyond your thinking. So better you nurture your mind with the great thoughts. So I would like to say all the organizations here, nurture your minds in your organization with great thoughts, with great practices, whatever being emphasized in this panel discussion. Surely they are going to be a great leaders in your organization. With that, we are concluding our panel discussion exactly in 1 hour time, which was given to us. Thank you so much.